Hi, my name's Melissa Mayston and this is my individual process video. My chosen arts area was music and my subject area was English. I suggested to my art installation group that we incorporate Mark Pfister's award-winning children's book, The Rainbow Fish, as it raises questions about selfishness and the importance of sharing. In the book, Pfister portrays Rainbow Fish as a vain character due to his shiny scales. He is described as the most beautiful fish in the sea. When a blue fish asks for one of his shiny scales, Rainbow Fish refuses, and this causes all the other fish in the sea to leave him alone. This shows how selfish Rainbow Fish is. However, after everyone leaves Rainbow Fish alone, he wonders, what good were dazzling, shimmering scales with no one to admire them? Up until this point, his pride in his scales was the only thing that made him happy, at least according to him. When everyone began to ignore him, he began to question what he knew as happiness. The wise octopus, whom Rainbow Fish was told would be happy to help him, tells the confused fish to share his scales. Rainbow Fish questions if he could ever be happy without them, because that's all he ever knew. In the end, he decides to share his scales, and as a result, he becomes the happiest fish in the sea. The book provides students with opportunities to engage in a facilitated discussion, and they can consider the following. Was it really selfish of the rainbow fish to give away something that he treasured? Even though he had many scales, he valued all of them. In order to evaluate the happiness of the group, should he really give away something that is rightfully his just in order to make others happy? Is the book saying that if you don't give away your superficial objects, people will avoid and dismiss you? Doesn't Rainbow Fish deserve to choose what he wants to do with his own possessions? One could also argue that the pride and vanity that the Rainbow Fish displayed was the reason the other fish didn't like him. Was he just showing off his scales? Should Rainbow Fish have been prepared to share his scales? Would Rainbow Fish have been just as happy at the end of the story if he hadn't given away his scales? The Rainbow Fish is an excellent book because it asks the question if the consideration of the happiness of all is reasonable at the cost of one's own happiness. The students may argue that having friends is valuable to them, so they would give up something they cherished. They may also argue that Rainbow Fish shouldn't have had to give up his scales and should still be accepted by the other fish, because it seems to be unfair to be excluded just because you were born with something nice. The book poses the moral that being selfish and unkind will leave you lonely, but it also leaves the door open for discussion on the topic of how much you should have to give in order to make friends. Students who participate in this discussion are encouraged to recognise that the ideas presented in this text can be conveyed from different viewpoints, which can lead to different kinds of interpretations and responses, which is one of the Ausval's outcomes for the Level 5 English domain. Following the discussion of the book, in groups, students compose their own music to reflect their thoughts and feelings. Students participating will plan, rehearse and deliver performances for an audience and incorporate multimodal elements, which is one of the Ausval's outcomes for the Level 5 English domain. Jorgensen believes that music contributes to every child's life because of its intrinsic values and role in developing the whole child. In addition to the intrinsic values, music also offers other benefits for students, including enhanced engagement and well-being, increased personal and social development, and contributes to the learning in other subject areas. Moreover, music is an expression of feeling, and the child will express themselves through music in every opportunity. Interpersonal development is fostered as students are provided with the opportunity to demonstrate through their interactions in social situations respect for a diverse range of people and groups. For example, the group composition and performance activity will encourage students to consider the various ways that people view each other, and such as feelings about people who are like them and different. Students develop an appreciation for the ways in which their behaviour in the group might affect and be affected by his or her role in the group activity. Discipline-based learning is also evident, as when groups are composing their own song, the students may wish to also incorporate another language other than English, which evidently embraces the many diverse cultures within the classroom. For example, one student may wish to teach their group some simple phrases from their native language, and the students in the group, as a result, may wish to include many other languages into their composed songs. Interdisciplinary learning is also apparent, as students are encouraged to explore information and communications technology. They use design tools such as GarageBand to record, edit and mix their own music and sound effects to accompany their composed song. Students will collaboratively participate in the group by sharing their thoughts and feelings regarding the book and assisting with the composition of the song lyrics. Students will use ICT such as GarageBand to record, edit and mix their own music or sound effects to accompany their song. And students will individually evaluate the effectiveness of their song, considering ways they can refine and improve. So the teacher can provide both written and oral feedback through the composition and performance preparation process. And the feedback will inform students about the appropriate interpretations and choices in their compositions. So according to Russell Bowie, children value their participation in arts education, perceiving it to have an important meaning in their lives as a means of expressing and communicating their thoughts and feelings. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights considers culture and art to be essential components of a comprehensive education, leading to the full development of the individual. Therefore, arts education is a universal human right for all. So with this universal human right, Caldwell believes that all children deserve the opportunity to learn to play a musical instrument, to sing, to engage in dramatic effects, dance, paint, sculpture. Through the arts, children learn discipline, focus, passion, and enjoy the sheer joy of creativity. Lastly, I consider it important to incorporate the arts as it fosters positive attitude towards school. It can enhance children's potential to engage and also overall improve their academic achievement. Although research has proven participation in the arts to enhance academic achievement, develop children's respect for themselves and others, develop children's life skills for future, as well as allowing them to express themselves, schools have often devalued the arts, giving them a low priority. According to Rabkin, the arts have rarely been seen as an academic subject and instead been marginalised and viewed as a leisure or soft subject with little connections to important subjects such as literacy and mathematics, which prepares children for the workforce. As a result, many teachers are expected to teach the standardised curriculum, spending the majority of their time teaching mathematics and literacy. Not only are teachers hindered by the demands to cover a prescribed curriculum that is increasing in its intensity and requirements, but also its pressure to prepare children to succeed standardized tests. With a crowded curriculum, teachers are limited to what they can teach and instead devalue the arts by spending more time teaching mathematics and literacy. This is further evident in the initial proposal for the Australian National Curriculum, where the arts were not to be included in the compulsory national curriculum and were to be taught if, when and how principals thought they would fit. It was only included in the second phase of the national curriculum after the arts sector in Australia vigorously argued that it is fundamental to the nation's future. With the arts being a vehicle for confronting and exploring new ideas, it allows children to communicate their perceptions, observations and understandings of concepts drawn from other areas in the curriculum. Therefore, I consider it important for teachers like myself to authentically integrate the arts across the curriculum, making sure to make appropriate links and connections. Lastly, Coester defines creativity as the ability to make connections between previously unconnected ideas, and he also suggests it possible for the curriculum subjects to work together and for Australia to enjoy an integrated curriculum.